If you're looking for a wireless video transmission system or looking to upgrade your current wireless transmission system, this may be the video for you. Hey there, I'm Garrett, a video production company owner here in Tennessee, and I am no stranger to Hollyland and their product line. In the past, I've used their communication systems, which have been awesome. I've used the Mars wireless transmitter system. So when Hollyland reached out to me to test the Pyro system, I jumped at the bit because they're a company that I already believe in. I know they make great products, and I knew that the Pyros would be no different. And before we get too far into this video, I do want to let you know that Hollyland did send these out to me. However, they're not paying me a dime to say anything good or bad, and all the thoughts that you're about to hear are my own. I don't want to get too deep into the specs because I personally prefer to take systems out in the real world on real jobs, and that's exactly what I did with the Pyro system. But some specs that may matter if you are a first-time looker. Number one, we have 1,300 feet of clear line of sight transmission. We have as good as 50 milliseconds of latency, which is pretty good, and a dual auto switching channel frequency from 2.4 gigahertz to 5 gigahertz, and Hollyland's 4-to-1 transmitter to receiver technology, which means you can have up to 4 receivers receiving a video feed from a transmitter. This is great for creators who are sending multiple feeds out to a director, to a focus puller, to makeup artist, whoever is on set that needs to be in the loop with your video. Enough about specs though, let's talk about real world performance. I literally unboxed this system on a production as we were setting up the night before a 3-day live event. This doesn't tell you how much I trust Hollyland, nothing will, because it's ludicrous for someone to do that, but I know that they make a good product and I knew the Pyros would be no different. Again, this was a 3-day live event where we were going to be transmitting 2 camera signals to our director who was running a switchboard for the conference. And throughout the course of that live event, the Pyros performed dang near flawlessly with one small hiccup. The only thing that we can credit this to really is the fact that there were a million cell phones in the building. There were other wireless systems going at the same time, and we did have about a 10-second transmission drop off. However, that was the only case over the whole course of that singular live event that we had any sort of hiccup. And again, we were unable to recreate it since I've used these on other productions, other projects, and have had 0 transmission issues. They've been rock solid. Speaking of being rock solid, the build quality of the Pyro system is unmatched. They are made out of a magnesium alloy. Probably could be used as a weapon. I don't recommend it. I don't want you to get into any legal trouble or trouble with your local jurisdictions, but they are a rock solid body. Each transmitter and receiver has a fan, which you can control depending on how fast you want the fan turning at any given time for cooling purposes. And the fit and finish of this system is incredible. They're a very good looking transmitter and receiver set. Again, they're built like little tanks, and I would dare say they will stand the test of time, no different than Hollyland products that I've used in the past. In order to power the Pyro H and Pyro S, you can either run a Sony NPF battery, you can use the provided DC out, or you can use USB-C, which I think is very handy to have all those options. In our experience, I primarily have powered them via NPF battery, and with a medium-sized NPF battery, I was able to get about 3 hours of battery life, and that's running a continuous feed. I think that's pretty good. If you're wanting more solid or more consistent power for a longer period of time, you can always use a USB-C to a V-mount, or just go DC straight into a wall, and you'll have unlimited power at that point in time. One thing that I mentioned earlier was the 4-to-1 transmitter to receiver technology. This is something that is very handy for production crews who, again, need to have one feed going to multiple devices. You do have to put the system into broadcast mode in order for this to work, but this means that from one transmission feed from your camera, you can go out to multiple devices, up to 4 receivers and up to 2 mobile devices in this mode. One of the big separators in a higher end wireless system versus the entry-level wireless systems that you may find online is latency. Latency is a massive conversation around wireless video transmission, and Hollyland have been doing their best over the recent years to get their latency down. This system has as little as 50 milliseconds of latency, which for my needs have been absolutely incredible. Again, most of the time I'm running either a singular monitor out or I'm doing a YouTube talking head like this. 50 milliseconds of latency for me is a perfect workflow. One of my favorite features of this system has been the HollyView app, which allows me to use my phone and my iPad as a monitor. Actually, I'm using my iPad as a monitor right now and recording this talking head, which I think is very cool. A lot of people have to pay larger amounts of money to have screen recording options when they're shooting video. And the app is so simple to use, it's as easy as turning your transmitter on, firing up the app and connecting to Wi-Fi, and you are automatically transmitting your video signal at that point in time. As far as connections go, this is where the H and the S differ slightly. The Pyro H system is strictly an HDMI system only, which means you're only going to be able to receive your feed from your camera via HDMI. It also has an HDMI loop, which is very handy if you are wanting to loop your feed to an on-camera monitor. The Pyro S has an SDI out as well as an HDMI out, which is great for higher-end cinema cameras. The other difference in the H and the S systems are the price. The Pyro S is about a $700 system, and the Pyro H is a very, very aggressive $369. If I'm giving you my recommendation, I would say the Pyro H system is going to be more than capable for 90% of work that most of us are doing. Until you get onto a bigger set with more crew members, more top-of-the-line gear, I really don't see a need personally for an SDI out. Now, I will say on our live broadcast productions, it certainly is handy to have an SDI out because we actually have SDI-capable cameras as well as mixers. But again, for 90% of the work that even I do, the Pyro H is more than capable, and at $369, that price point for a quality piece of gear like this is incredible. In closing, I believe that this system is great for the person that is brand new to wireless video transmission, looking to step up their game just a little bit, as well as the working professional who wants a solid and rigid system at a very attractive price. Again, I want to thank Hollyland for sending this system out. I've had an absolute blast with it over the past couple of months, and I certainly see this system as a staple in my arsenal for many years to come. With that, I want to know your thoughts. What is your favorite wireless transmission system? Do you love the Pyros? Do you hate them? Let me know all those things down in the comments below. And as always, thank you for being a part of this channel. I love growing this community here on YouTube. Y'all have a good one, and we'll see you in the next.